Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. What? Hello and welcome to Spines and Covers. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book called Dragon Shield by Charlie Fletcher. It is the first book in the Dragon Shield trilogy. The third book comes out on April 7th. I literally just finished reading this book and oh my god, I really want to read the second one now. It's a very small book, it's 219 pages. This book review will probably contain spoilers if you haven't read or haven't even heard of the Dragon Shield like I hadn't until like a few days ago. I'm so excited to talk about it. So the book is all about this brother and sister called Will and Joe, and whilst they are at a hospital checkup, everything freezes, like time just stops, and the two are the only ones who move. Everybody else, known as the regulars, just regular human beings, has frozen. We later discover that Will and Joe are able to move because they wear friendship bracelets which have ancient Egyptian scarab beads on them, which look a little bit like coffee beans. The story then switches to the British Museum, where these lion-headed goddess statues have basically come to life and have decided that they want to take back control of the planet and rule again and be goddesses and be worshipped and loved by all, and cats need to reign supreme. The leader of that group is called the Bast. She's a very, very angry statue. Dragon statues then come to life throughout the city and they start attacking Will and Joe because they are not like other regulars and they're also not like statues, and I think they get a little bit confused of why they are moving when everybody else is still. Dragons that attack them are the silver dragons, who are a bit stupid. The dragon's job is actually to protect London from danger, but they actually end up kind of destroying it and melting half of it in their pursuit of Will and Joe. Ultimately, they are saved by their first dragon attack by Ariel, who is a spit, or a spitting image of a human. Ariel is a statue, kind of angelic-like, actually ends up kind of sacrificing her own life to save the two of them as she gets melted by the dragon. But it's okay, because if statues are returned to their plinth before midnight, they can be revived. We are also introduced to a little statue called Little Tragedy, and he is the most adorable character I have ever been introduced to. So he is this tiny little bronze statue of boy who basically just wants to make friends with everybody and be loved and be liked and have a lot of people to talk to, and he is brilliant. I love Trage. In the second dragon attack, Joe is taken, and in the process of being taken by this dragon, loses her bracelet, and so she freezes like everybody else, and she wakes up in the British Museum surrounded by all these lion-headed statues, and they're basically interrogating her on why her and Will are able to move, but because she lost her bracelet, they're like, okay, Joe isn't the special one, it must be Will. So Will is helped around London by Little Trage and the Fusilier, who is a World War soldier statue. Honestly, I didn't feel like I would have any emotional attachment to any of these characters because Will and Joe are the only ones who can be injured with lasting effect. But when the Fusilier actually got like attacked and his neck melted off, I was very, very sad about it. It really kind of tore my heart out a little bit. So the Fusilier just got dragoned. This is heartbreaking. They go to this meeting where every other statue gathers when time freezes, and they come up with this plan to charge on the British Museum and basically try and save Joe, try and work out what is happening and where the magic's coming from because of the scarab bracelets that him and his sister wore. The only place in London that he could think of that had scarab beads was the massive one in the museum. But Will's like, nah, F it, I'm going to go get my sister, and so him and the two St. George's statues, who by the way are freaking awesome. They are so British. For every St. George statue there is a dragon. By George, George, said one to the other, it's a boy and he isn't frozen like the others. You're right, George. Looks like a decent enough chap. You bent my bally lance, you clumsy blighter. Wait until midnight, old bean. I love them. Will and these two Georges basically charge into the museum, go and rescue Joe. But Bast, that badass lion-headed goddess, who decides that she doesn't want Joe to be rescued and basically starts this huge fight. So I actually thought that this book would end on a cliffhanger because it's a trilogy. I thought it would end on a cliffhanger with Joe still being frozen inside the museum and like Will getting captured, or they'd just be, they'd just be stuck in the museum. Turns out that's not the cliffhanger they actually leave it on, and Joe is revived and all is well, and they run out of there with Felix and Little Trage, but then Bast comes along, release this big blue light that freezes all of these statues. They're all frozen bar Traj and Felix, who escapes. I love dragons in books. I love things about like ancient magic and things, and I think this is brilliant. It's fantastic. I'm gonna have to find the second book, which I don't know what it's called. Let's find it. So the second book is called The London Pride and the third book is called Golden Sword. This is the best description of being attacked by a dragon that I've ever read. Well, he would be toast, at least on the outside. Outside he'd be burned and crispy, inside he'd probably still be squishy, but cooked. Like a marshmallow at a bonfire party. Okay then. So what I really extra love about this book, the relationship between Will and Joe is so real. Like, it's a relationship that I have with my brother. Like, there's rivalry. The age gap between Joe and Will is less than a year, but she's trying to be on the same level as him. She's constantly trying to do things he does. So when he says that he's jumped off a roof onto another roof, she's like, okay, I'll do it. And he dares her. And even though you find out at the end of the book that she actually saw him not properly jump, she says that she didn't jump because he dared her, she jumped because she wanted to. And that was how she hurt Annie. It's just such a real relationship, like the annoyance between them and then him feeling sorry because he hasn't explained to her that he never fully jumped. The explanation of how scared he was when she hurt herself and then fainted and collapsed, and he was just like telling her all this stuff and he didn't realise that she remembered. He didn't even realise he'd said it. It's such a real relationship. Love and care that you have for your siblings, identical to the relationship that me and my brother have. Like, as a kid, I was always trying to be like him, climbing trees, playing with guns, playing with skateboards, you know, the kind of things that you do at that age. I think they're around my age in the book. I understand the relationship, and I think that's why I feel such a strong connection to both the characters, because it's something I can relate to, and if you have a sibling, you'll probably relate to it as well. It's brilliantly written. Really hope you enjoyed this review of Dragon Shield. If you haven't read it, I recommend you go out and read it, although I kind of just spoiled the entire book for you. It's like 20 to 1 and I'm so tired, so I'm gonna go to bed now. Subscribe for more book madness and I will talk to you soon. Bye!